We hiked up this morning to this viewpoint that's up over the river. They call this viewpoint Mirador Rio what is it called?
Despedido.
According to Greg, this river is called Despacito. This is the river viewpoint Mirador de las Vueltas, Rio de las Vueltas, the river turns, I guess. And you've got this beautiful scene, this really, really wide scene here. It's only a kilometer hike out of town, and we're gonna shoot this morning. I think one of the biggest traps you can get into when shooting a landscape that's this wide open is trying to get it all. You start by trying to capture just the river and some peaks, and then you start to say, oh, maybe I'll get a little bit of this forest as well. And then you see the road and you go, oh, maybe I'll get the road as well. And then you just keep going wider and wider and wider until you're at like 16 millimeters. And to your eye, that might look incredible. But when you get it back on your computer or at home, it's gonna look flat. It's gonna look completely small. It's gonna take a landscape like this that's absolutely unreal and massive and make it look really kind of, yeah, just a little bit underwhelming. So I think one of the important things to do is to get that really wide image first, right out of the way, just so you've got it, and then pull out a long lens like the 70-200 and search through the landscape to try to find details. Right now, I've got my lens pointed way out that way at this river that's meandering through there, through some red fall colors, through an orange field, and then with a mountain as the backdrop. The mountain's not catching any light. I'm not sure it's gonna catch light this morning, but from a composition standpoint, I think that's pretty good. So it's kind of been one of these mornings here in Patagonia, almost like every morning has been, where the light's just been teasing us off and on. The peaks have been appearing and coming out, and Carlos is doing the world's greatest pose. Can you do that again, Carlos?
Come on, Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos is doing the world's greatest long exposure selfie, I think, up on that peak. But I think we've all kind of got images. Considering we didn't get epic light, there's definitely like a nice mood to everything this morning. So I think I've got 2 or 3 long lens shots. I didn't even use my wide angle lens today. And I think I'm pretty happy with how that happened. We're gonna go back into town. We're gonna do a quick editing session, I think. And then we're going to maybe go on a bit of an adventure to try to check out Lago del Desierto. But it's all gonna be weather dependent. Now I'm looking way down there. Look down there, guys, straight down that peak. You got that peak coming out now. Get that long lens out. Looks awesome. I'm gonna shoot that. Be right back. Okay, so I might have missed the shot because I was too busy trying to get filters on again and everything. The light just changes so quickly. But yeah, now I think it's time to head back to town.
Happy birthday to you.
So we really wanted to today do the hike all the way to Laguna Torre for sunset, but it's really cloudy that way, so it's not gonna work. Instead, what we're gonna do is go on a little bit of a photo scouting adventure, permiso, and yeah, maybe an adventure, but we have no idea what we're gonna find. There's a road to a place called Laguna del Desierto, or something like that, Lago del Desierto, and we're gonna drive that way and see what we see. So, yeah, a bit of a lesson in driving location scouting coming up for the group, I guess. So the drive to Lago Desierto is way down that way, and it's at least an hour, maybe an hour and a little bit drive, and we're no more than 5 minutes into the drive and already stopping because there's just so much color down here. And when you have a lot of color, sometimes you don't need to go crazy with your compositions. You have lots and lots of reflections in these pools, and yeah, it's just too beautiful not to stop. I'm starting to have doubts though that we'll ever get down there, because at this rate we're gonna be stopping every couple kilometers to take some pictures, which I guess that's okay too. So we didn't make it to the lake, nor are we ever gonna get to the lake, because we came across this spot here where there's the bridge, there's mountains, there's light hitting. Magically it's cleared up. It's been cloudy all day in Chalten, and so we're gonna stay here. There's so many different locations, so many different compositions to shoot here that it just totally made sense. So it's like 2 hours until sunset. I'm gonna walk you through my own personal challenge right now. I'm gonna try to get 5 images. 5 images, 1 sunset, 1 location. Let's do it. Shot number 1, I haven't even left the parking lot, but I'm not sure it's gonna happen. The peak way off in the distance is beautiful, and there's some cloud lingering along it. What I wanna do is throw a rock back at Tom, who's trying to destroy my camera gear with rocks. What I wanna do is get a slightly longer exposure. Oh, it's happening. Okay, get a slightly longer exposure with this snow coming off, or I guess it's just cloud, really. Tom's about to die in the background. Karma. I just want a slightly slower exposure, and the way the cloud is, I kind of want half the cloud on the peak and half of it blowing off. So I'm going 2 seconds, f16, and yeah, it looks okay. Maybe a longer exposure would be nice, but I left the 10 stop at the hotel. Ah, yeah, that'll work. Shot number 1 done. Shot number 2, Tom was bragging about finding an awesome tree at the top of this hill, and then as he came down to get his gear, he said, "Brendan, don't steal my tree," as he was throwing rocks at me, so now I'm totally gonna go steal his tree. We're up at Tom's tree. There's no light on it right now, but it is awesome. I'm guessing that Tom's composition, as he's getting really possessive about this tree, he's using kind of the root system. And I don't want to steal his composition. I mean, I do want to steal his composition, I'm just not going to. I think I'm going to go for a simplified image. Straight up with just that on the skyline and maybe this peak on the background from about right here. I think that'll look really cool. So I think I've found a composition I'm a fan of. I might need to focus stack it a little bit because there is a pretty prominent foreground element and then the mountain way off in the background. But what I like about the composition I have is the way the tree bends. It almost creates a frame around the mountain from where I'm at, and it all kind of draws all together. It still feels minimalist, even though there's so much going on. So I'm a fan of shot number 2. I think, and I could be wrong because I haven't edited it yet, I think this might be black and white. And as you know, I never do black and white, but we'll see how the edit goes, and I guess it's time to seek out image number 3. It's still an hour and a half until sunset. Got those 2 images already, and I'm about to run down this hillside and try to get image number 3. I'm really loving this peak because there is light hitting it. And I'm kind of ignoring everything else, even though the light's beautiful, just because I am getting that light on that peak. As I'm up here, climbing down, I'm looking down at everything, and this bridge is just, is just prime for an image. I'm not sure how I want to work it yet, whether I want to stand on the bridge and shoot that way. It's kind of backlit, but it might look beautiful. Or if I want to go down the river somewhere and shoot straight up it with the bridge in the foreground and that mountain in the background. Maybe even go full Instagram and stand on the bridge right up on the railing. So I'm gonna go down and explore that composition a little bit right now. I've got my tripod set up way back here. The bridge is way up there. And now I gotta go try to find Greg, because I just need somebody to push the shutter. I could do the intervalometer thing, but I think by the time I get to the bridge, get set up, it'd be like 100 frames. So we'll just get Greg to do this. It's the joys of having an assistant. Hey dude, can I get you to go push the shutter?
Yeah, where's the camera?
You'll see it. Walk along the river for about a mile, you'll find it.
No worries, ABBS. Just go for a hike, Greg. Just like 2 miles downriver, bud. You'll be alright. Don't you worry about it. There's no pumas in the forest.
Sometimes the assistants turn on you. Okay, Greg's done shooting. Let's see how this turned out. Camera on, that always helps. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I think this is one of those images I might have to look at the edit, because I'm just tiny in the frame, and usually I really like that because in a way it shows how big the mountain is, it shows scale to everything, but I might be too small, so I'm not sure if I'm going to count that as image number 3, but I probably will. Actually, let's just count that as image number 3 for simplicity's sake. I want to take the time to say that, one, I'm not just running around here because we have the photography workshop. I am helping people, but it's also, we've kind of let people like run around on their own today. Two, I want to also take the time to not get hit by this car to talk about how awesome this is. This location is really cool, and it wasn't on our plans at all. It's outside the national park as well, which means we can fly drones, which is fun. And Fitzroy, I think that's one end of Fitzroy, because I saw the big pinnacle peak coming out of the other side, and it was peeking out just a little bit. So this is really special. This is awesome. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. This reflection is perfect. I like a simple reflection, but what I like even better is having a person in that simple reflection. So I might get Mitchell to pose on the other side, or I might pose and have Mitchell shoot this, but I think this is perfect. You see this reflection, I should put my beautiful white gumboots on. This reflection's fantastic because the whole like pond creates a natural frame as well. So I'm gonna frame my image really wide. And yeah, I think, yeah, just use the whole pond as a frame. This is awesome. So I really like this shot. The water is so clear and so reflective, whatever you say. And I love this image just because of the way the clouds are coming off the top of it. And it's great now, like an hour and a bit until sunset, but I think this could be unbelievable at sunset. So I think we're gonna lose the light on that peak actually. It's kind of cloudy on the horizon, and part of me is feeling a little bit defeated by image number 5. But I've got a kind of an idea that I wanna walk into this forest here. It's a little bit like, it's late fall, so there's a lot of color down already. There's not a lot of color left, but I'm thinking maybe, just maybe I can find one of these trees and frame the mountain in the background. Oh my God, look at the reflection that way. This is such a challenge, trying to photograph only one thing here. But if you're ever not in Patagonia and you're like struggling to try to be inspired, give yourself challenges when you're shooting. And I think you'll find inspiration really quick. It just doesn't work. No point in forcing it if it's not working, especially when you have the greatest reflection in the history of reflections happening back this way. It's funny how quickly you can go from loving the location to setting up the camera and being like, eh. And that's kind of how I feel about this reflection right now. A little bit eh. So I'm gonna try something different. There's really, really nice light back that way. Fitzroy's also popped its head out and is peeking out, but I feel like that long lens shot is a little bit too obstructed. So I think I'm gonna race down this side, maybe throw in the long lens and shoot down this valley. Struggling for this fifth image way harder than I should be. Since it's happening and the light's pretty good in most places here, it's kind of backlit, but nothing you couldn't stop with some filters with a 3-stop soft grad or something like that. But I kind of want something different. I've got like 2 hero images. I've got 1 peak image, and I've got 1 sort of abstract image with the tree. So I kind of want to do something different, even if these mountains are exploding. And actually Fitzroy, way behind me, I'm not sure you can see that, is actually catching light in the background, which is incredible to see. But what I'm doing is I've got the 70-200 on, and I'm just framing this image way off in the distance that's really simple, maybe a little bit underexposed, but it's just got this really nice mood to it. It's also got this nice balance. Almost all the images in the bottom half of the frame, but there's also like, I don't know, it just works. It almost feels like there's a natural frame holding in a sliver of really beautiful light on the peaks. So it's different from what I usually do, but I think this will definitely do as a 5th image. I was feeling a little bit discouraged there for a minute trying to find that 5th composition, but I think this will work. I guess I lied about 5 images. This is 6 coming up here. We've got just perfect reflections, just perfect light. The mountains themselves aren't really catching light, but the sky makes up for it. So it's almost like a little bit of a silhouette effect, going really, really, really wide, really simple. And yeah, this doesn't get much better than this. Does not get much better than this at all. That was a fun shoot. That was a fun shoot. You never really realize how hard it is to get 5 images, 5 different compositions at one location until you try it. 5 really doesn't seem like that many photos. And yeah, it's a lot. And that was a challenge actually, but a fun one. And this was a fun location. I'm so glad we came here and kind of discovered this spot because it was just fantastic. Now we're leaving El Chalten tomorrow morning and we're heading back into Chile to Torres del Paine National Park. So I'll see you guys there. Peace.